Watch me change my life in 6 months, literally. I'm sure we've all by now seen those videos of people claiming you can change your life in 90 days or 6 months or whatever time frame they want to set up for their deadline for their life looking completely different. But very few people actually go and try to take the principles that people teach in those tip and advice videos and actually apply them. I typically find that this is kind of a problem with any sort of advice video you're getting, whether it's about creative writing, different types of art, growing a YouTube channel. We all take in all of this advice. We're flooded by information and then we don't actually apply any of it. My goal is to actually go and take everything I've learned by consuming social media and things like YouTube advice videos for the past several years, including many courses that I've purchased and not actually completed or actually applied the knowledge I learned, and start applying everything that I know and that I've had up in my head and actually see how quickly I can change my life, but with a big caveat. Hi, if you guys don't know me, I'm Jenna. I write science fiction fantasy novels and help you put the magic back into writing and into your life. One writing advice video, life-changing video, and vlog at a time. And I'm going to be combining all of those three things into my upcoming series, which is all about changing my life in 6 months by also publishing several novels. Rapid release for my first ever released books. Crazy, right? But let's go back to that caveat that I said earlier. I want to change my life in 6 months and really start applying all of the knowledge that I've learned through YouTube videos, influencers, content creators, etc. But I want to do it with one thing in mind, and that is joy. I do not want to do any of this hustle culture BS, work myself, grind till you bleed kind of energy. I want to do everything I do with joy, with community, with love for what I'm doing, and with passion. And I don't want to be doing things that are going to hurt me because of my chronic illnesses or because of my things like depression and being like I have to ignore my mental and physical health just for the sake of a challenge or just for the sake of the quote-unquote grind. I want to be doing things with joy that bring me joy while also knowing that every person is different and what my big aspirational goals might be can be completely different to somebody else. And that's where my challenge comes in as well. I have a sort of build your own life in 6 months challenge that I would like to introduce you guys to as well in this video. When you guys see this video coming up live, there's 185 days, 6 months until the end of this challenge in November. From May the 12th, November 13th. It's technically 6 months and a day, but like 185 just sounded way better than 184. Give me a break. So we're doing 6 months and a day to change everything. And I have a challenge so that you guys can join in, but then make the challenge your way. Change your life in 6 months along with me, following along as I vlog the different challenges that I'm doing in different little cute episodes, and then also try to apply the things in your own life on any areas that you're not 100% happy with. This video was also inspired by my predecessors in this sort of change your life in 6 month genre. My favorite, of course, being Chiara Evola. I hope I'm saying that right. I've been watching her videos the last 6 months, and I started with the very first video, I think the day that she uploaded her Watch Me Change My Life experiment video 6 months ago, since she's wrapping up the challenge really soon. And I started watching that and I was so inspired and motivated by her, but then I noticed as she put out more and more videos, I realized my life was staying exactly the same as I could actively see her get results of the things that she was doing. And so I want to change my personal life, my professional life, my author life, my YouTube social media life, and so many different things. I know I'm on a good track right now, but I feel like it is time for me to pick up the pace, and I hope you guys are ready to join the journey with me. And even if you aren't an author and you stumble across this video, I hope that you can take these rules that I'm about to give you on this 185 challenge. I'm calling it 185 insane. Sort of like 75 hard because I implemented some of those things in here. But specifically for authors, but you can apply it to your life too with anything you're creative with. So anytime I say words written or projects published or books signed, just apply that to your creative field and outlet or the career that you're aspirationally going towards. Whether that be music, like, hey, if I'm saying I'm writing 3 books, maybe you say you want to write 3 albums, or you maybe just want to do 3 songs. Whatever it might be, apply it to your creative field. So here are the public rules, and then I'll tell you the way that I'm altering it for myself to really make it insane. So for authors who would like to join along, that means 1K words a day more than what your current goal is. That means if your goal is only to write 500 words a day, you up that to 1,500 words. If your goal is 1,000 words a day, you up it to 2,000. That means for me personally, I'm going from 2,000 words a day to 3,000 words a day. Yes, for 6 months, but with planned breaks, off days, and quote unquote easy days. So if there's a certain day that I know I only have an hour to write, I'm not going to punish myself because, oh, I didn't get 3K words when it was physically impossible. I'm gonna look at those days and say, those days I can write 1K, or those days I have completely off from writing because I am giving myself a much needed and deserved break. But every other day is on the board and will be 3,000 words for me. Knowing that, if you have quite a few days to work with on your calendar, this next one will kind of be the automatic, which is to complete 3 drafts of a novel. If you have literally no breaks, which don't recommend doing, but if you had no breaks, that means you would write 555,000 words by the time we hit our deadline in November. With planned off days, I'm guessing the vast majority of us would be able to get 5,000 words. That is 500,000 words in 6 months, which means that next year, maybe we go for 1 million. Who knows? Next, it kind of splits off here a little bit. If you are a self-publishing person, this is your goal. Self-publish 2 books or 3 novella-length works. So if your books tend to be under or around 50K, publish 3 of those. If they're definitely longer novels, publish 2. And if you're going the traditional route, I have a goal for you too, which is to query 2 novels. Yes, before November. Next goal here is to do 1 author event or go to someone else's author event if you yourself are, again, not yet published. And obviously change these rules if you are just a writer for fun and don't wish it for a career path. And then next, this is gonna be a real struggle for some of you guys, including myself, calling myself out here. Post 3 pieces of social media content per day. If you are an author trying to advertise yourself, this is a big thing you might wanna do. So yes, you might be able to outsource it. If you're not able to outsource this, that means creating it yourself, maybe getting on a scheduler, manually posting it. Or even if you're doing absolutely none, maybe it is starting your social media account and then posting however many times a week. But what I'm recommending for people who are currently in sort of my realm of things, who are somewhat active on social media, but not really, but they have a book coming out and they want to advertise it, 3 times a day. It could be across any platforms that you're comfortable with. Now, the other parts of this challenge, if you are joining, pick your off days, schedule them accordingly, and honor them. That means no guilt. That means I'm not going to beat myself up for taking a day off, and make sure that you're allowing yourself to have days off if you're chronically ill, have chronic pain, or if you have mental health issues. I check all of those boxes to make sure you're planning for those accordingly, and you don't get to beat yourself up if you have one of those days that is not on your schedule. There's no beating up. There is no, oh, I suck for doing what my body needs me to do. We're not doing that. This is, again, going for me just as much. Next is to make new author friends, whether online or in person. This one, if you're able-bodied and able to do this, 5K steps a day. I know that they say you should get 10K. Let's be honest, we're authors. We're mostly just stepping here. Unless you have a treadmill under your desk, you're gonna wanna go for 5K steps a day, at least to start out with. This is my goal on this challenge as well. If you have a treadmill or you already easily hit 5K words or 5K steps, then I would go and add to get to that 10K step goal then. Next, you guys are gonna hate me if you're gonna wanna try this, but 5 bottles of water a day, or whatever the equivalent of that is in ounces if you're drinking out of cups. I use bottled water here because I'm in California. We cannot drink the tap. I know it's bad for the environment. Give me a break here. I'm, again, in California. We cannot drink the tap. Next is to stick to a healthy diet and exercise, whatever that means for you. So that means for me, that's a PCOS diet. But of course, I'm gonna have off days. You guys also get off days on this, little cheat days, though I don't like to say it like that because it makes it sound like it has a negative connotation. Just for the most part, at least 80% of the time, you're sticking towards the diet that makes you feel the best for you. That means you might want to experiment with diets. You want to try Mediterranean, you want to try this. Maybe you want to just cut out gluten for a little bit. Whatever it is, try something that makes you feel really good. Like, I know when I don't eat according to my PCOS, I feel like shit. I feel bloated and tired, and I just break out and I don't feel like me anymore. I sleep in more. And so even if I'm not eating unhealthy necessarily, if I'm not eating according to what my PCOS wants my body to be eating, I still face the ramifications. So feel free during this challenge to take it as an invitation to start experimenting with taking out and adding things to your diet that you never thought of before as affecting you. Like for me, I learned rice. I cannot have rice, even just a healthy amount of rice. I've gained 4 pounds in a week from eating rice. And everything else has been healthy in vegetables and proteins. But because I added rice, my body's like, fuck you, I hate you now. Exercise here literally just means doing whatever movement feels good for your body and helps you get away from the desk, because we stay at the desk all the time. Next is a challenge within a challenge. That means joining the 24-hour novel challenge happening in June, yes, the next month, where we write for like 24 hours straight. Your goal is to get 50K words within a weekend. A 3-day weekend, granted, but it was really fun. I was blown away by how much I could write when given the time to do that challenge, and I will be joining it again. And so I wanted to shout it out in this challenge and let everyone know that if you're joining this, you should definitely join that one. It'll be a great day to either catch up on your goals in terms of word count or to surpass them so that you can give yourself more off days in the future. Next is that, yes, even though I said 3 posts of social media a day, also no social media before 9 a.m. your time or 9 p.m. your time. Unless, of course, you have a different routine for you. If you were working a night shift, for example, adjust accordingly. This is definitely where I got a little bit more into like the 75 hard kind of aspect of things, which is definitely like a health challenge. And it's also usually not healthy for women to do. I will throw that out there. But this one can go for everybody. That's 30 minutes of reading a day, any genre you like. However, it cannot be your own book. It cannot. Next is to stick to a sleeping and night and morning routines and schedules that work best for you. That means finding what that is, sticking to it, and staying healthy with it. Give yourself a little bitty bedtime. And then very last one for these public rules is to find one hobby that you like and that brings you joy. Stick with it and have no intention to monetize it. This is so hard for creatives. I feel like we want to go, oh, I could make this and then that'll be for my book and then I'll go and use it to help publish and then I'll put it with some of my swag at a book festival. One hobby we are not monetizing. We are not planning to sell a thing. We are not planning to go and use it as a book incentive. We're just doing it for the joy of doing it. And that is all. And of course, all of these rules adjust for chronic illnesses, chronic pain, disabilities, and mental capabilities. What does this mean for me and what my plans specifically are for the next 6 months? Let's break it down. Because again, we're changing the rules of this challenge according to every person so that you can change your life the way that you want it to be in the next 6 months. So for me personally, these are my goals. 3K words a day, write 3 full-length novels, holy crap, and 4 novellas. This means I will also be rapid release publishing 3 novels by November, as well as 4 novellas. That means my debut novel, Between the Shadows and the Dawn, which comes out June 20th, which is a spicy Viking romantasy. That novel comes first, obviously, in June, but it's going to be followed up by its 2 sequels. And then, of course, after the challenge will be when the 4th book in that saga comes out, which is the end of the first arc, not the end of the sagas in general. There will be another 4 books with the same characters, but with a different bad guy, plot, etc. And that'll be called Arc 2. That will not be coming out this year. That will be a 2026 project. And it also has a series of novella spin-offs. That means I want to be publishing 4 of them also by November, although I think the 4th one comes out end of November, so it'll technically be after the challenge, but as long as the pre-orders are up, I'm counting it. And those spin-off novellas are in the same world, featuring romance companions and stuff, the romances of the side Vikings in the main story. Next is I want to go to 2 author conventions and then also do a book launch. And I would prefer for this to be in person. So that's how I'm taking the rules of the challenge and implementing it for myself specifically. But that's not my entire life. That is just my publishing kind of related life. There are still other aspects such as my health, my finances, my appearance, different things like that I want to see an actual like physical change of. So let's dive into those. For starters, as I mentioned before, I found out I have PCOS, and so that was my sort of discovery end of last year. I've been figuring out how to eat for that and take care of it a little bit better, and I've definitely dropped weight from the aspect. And yes, we're going to talk about weight here for just a little bit. I'll put timestamps down in the description if you want to skip around that. I'm not going to be talking about it in a way of like weight is negative, but for me personally, this is nothing against anyone. Just for me, I have a condition in my legs that literally makes it so that when I have more weight on, the condition gets worse, and I don't want to have to walk with a cane by the time I'm 35. So knowing that, I do want to lose another 40 pounds, because yes, I've already lost about 40 pounds since December when I wasn't making content last year because I felt like such crap because of my PCOS. And so yes, I'd like to lose another 40 pounds the next 6-ish months. Knowing though, of course, that I'm wanting to lose that in terms of fat and not in terms of muscle, because I do like doing things like strength training. I found out that's very good for my PCOS. And so obviously if the scale does not budge, but I'm gaining muscle, then that is still a good thing. I'm not basing everything regarding my health goals off of a number on a scale. I'm doing it on how I feel in my body, whether or not I'm joyful in the ways that I am losing weight and in the ways that I'm taking care of myself and making the condition of my legs better. And that is what I'm focusing on most of all. However, obviously the most easy thing to track is the number on the scale and the numbers on my like waist things and the numbers on my clothing and things like that. For example, I've already gone from a size 24 pant to a size 18 pant, and now this is the only pair of pants that fit me. But we have more to go. I've already felt a big difference in my knees and in my calves, and so I'm very excited to see what the next 6 months we can get with health goals wise is. That reminds me too, the thing with losing weight is the fact that you are then not going to be able to wear a vast majority of your closet anymore, and I've already basically lost the ability to do so. So I am in a limbo when it comes to my sense of fashion, in terms of what looks good on me, in terms of the new body that I'm growing into, especially as I get older. I am very much in an in-between stage trying to figure out what looks best on me. I'm sure you can tell based off of how much my hair has changed over the past year and the life of my channel, that I'm really trying to figure out my style. I'm really, in this series, would love to get a color analysis done by like a professional in my area and do a whole episode on doing that if I can afford to do so. I definitely like curating a closet that brings me a lot of joy. Right now I just kind of throw whatever's on there like on me, or I wear the same thing every day, but I'd really like to be able to bring to life outfits that are from my Pinterest boards and then wear them and be happy with them, and especially to take nice Instagram photos with, because need to be more present on social media for the sake of growing my author brand. That also means being more regular with YouTube videos like this. I used to be very regular on this channel, and I fell off around the time of like 2020 onward because of a plethora of things and reasons, and I've never stuck with it for very much long afterwards. There's always like something in my life that is happening, but I'm tired of making excuses, and I want to be present. I want to be growing, and I want to be showing up for you guys, the audience that I've built here over time, and to share more of my writing process as that actually happens. Like, and I publish things, which is a little bit crazy to say that my book comes out in a couple weeks. It's terrifying. So we've got rapid release schedule of books, which means rapidly drafting, which means rapidly editing, beta reading, editing, cover art, all of those things. But how do we finance that, plus a new wardrobe, plus the color analysis, plus the conventions and things like that? Well, one of the ways that I'd love to do that is by opening up a TikTok shop. I just today, as I'm filming this video, got my old TikTok account back after it got hacked, and so I want to be more present on there. The hacker opened up a showcase and pushed me over to the amount necessary to actually like open certain things in terms of monetization. So thanks, hacker. I'm going to be taking all of that and using it to my benefit. Thank you. Don't thank them. They ruined my algorithm so bad. But yeah, in terms of financing stuff, my books, I'd love to break even. I want to, at the end of everything, break even in terms of the publishing costs for my books and the conventions that I'm going to. So that's going to be my goal for the next 6 months. I don't expect to be making a full-time income, or at the very least make a portion of what I make at my day job in the next 6 months, but it would be nice, of course. I'm not going to write it off the table, but I feel like breaking even would be a good step in the direction of becoming a full-time author, which has always been my dream goal since I was in like the 6th grade. And so I'm very much so taking on the attitude of, I am a full-time author. It's just not what pays the bills. It is my full-time job that pays the bills. But I'm going to act and treat everything I do in terms of my author brand, in terms of this YouTube channel, in terms of the books that I'm writing and everything else, like it is my full-time job. And I think shifting that in my mind from, oh, I am a full-time marketing person inside of a marketing firm and a consulting firm, that's what I do. I'm changing my mindset now into, that is what I do for work, and what my career is and my profession is a author, is a social media content creator doing author bookish things. And I think that mental shift is going to work to advance all of the things that I want to do with you guys here. So yes, just in general, I have my certain number of posts I want to put out, but I don't want to publicly say that one this one because it's just a lot of numbers. But we'll do a whole like episode dedicated to getting more regular on social media and actually figuring out how to post regularly for someone who's not my day job. Because I feel like the systems I use for work don't apply 100% to me. I need to find a system, and I've tried to use my work system and it just didn't work. So I need to figure out definitely how I'm going to stay more regular on social media and be on top of things, as well as my multitude of other projects. We'll do a whole episode about that. And speaking of episodes, how in the hell am I organizing all of this stuff and the many projects, ideas, etc. that I have for the series, such as color analysis, the 24-hour novel challenge, publishing my books, doing rapid release? How am I organizing all of them? Some of them will be just specific videos dedicated to the entire process of a specific project. So like one of the big things I want to do is declutter the hell out of my home, getting rid of a bunch of stuff. I want to Marie Kondo like everything. I just fell into a hole of overconsumerism, and a lot of the things I honestly have are passed down through multiple siblings, generations, friends who didn't want something and then somehow it ended up just staying perpetually at my home, and I need to purge. I still have my wedding decorations, for like Pete's sake. Like I have an entire area dedicated to trying to sell all of my wedding decorations, and I haven't even listed them yet. So for example, that would probably be a couple different videos tackling specific areas. Like maybe I'll pair together clearing out my closet with actually getting a wardrobe that I'm happy with that reminds me of my Pinterest pins. Otherwise, you also will be getting weekly vlogs from me where you actually see me tackling the minutia of every single detail along the path, focusing on my rapid release schedule. And these are not going to be replacing my advice videos either, or my writing vlogs, because I'll be combining my writing vlogs with this challenge. So writing vlogs will be mentioning this challenge in it. You'll get bonus videos all about doing specific parts of this challenge and this experiment to change my life, tackling specific areas of my life that are a little bit more broad than just publishing, as well as usual writing advice videos. But yeah, I always wanted to be a full-time author, and that's kind of what the basis of the challenge is to get the foundations laid to become a full-time author and content creator within the next 6 months, so that by the time Thanksgiving rolls around, my life and myself looks completely different. I hope that basically through this challenge, I'll be finding a lot of joy in doing things that I have been putting off, and stop myself from not having any accountability, because I'll have you guys, and you guys will hold me accountable, right? Right, Jenna? Yeah, that's what I thought. And also to inspire, hopefully, other people to join along with this challenge, start publishing some books, stop waiting on the sidelines for life to happen to you, and decide you're going to impact life head on and take on a bunch of areas of your life that you're not necessarily happy with. Like I know for me, my legs hurt all the time. I am stuck at this desk all the time. I am always stuck on the sidelines watching my friends publish their books and get agents, and it's been like that for like a decade, and it's really my time, I feel like, to step out of my comfort zone and start sharing stories with you guys. All of that's going to wrap up into one big ball of I want to improve and change my life in all of these different drastic measures, and I want to be able to look back at this video and know that, hey, we did some serious stuff. Even if not everything is crossed off, I'm going to consider it a big win as long as I maintained my mental and physical health, published at least one book, and was really freaking happy and excited while doing so. But I do like a challenge and to push myself. So let's go for miscellaneous things I want to do in the next 6 months. Starting with opening up a TikTok shop after I just took back my account from the hacker who took it. Yeah, I dream of being one of those authors who sells physical copies of their book through TikTok shop, signs it, puts little cute art prints in it, and then sends it off. I really would love to do that. And because I'm writing romantasy, that tends to be what does very well on there. Overall, just becoming a more confident and healthy version of myself, which also means catching up on all of my doctor and dentist appointments. There's a lot of them. I also want to start some sort of author services business. I don't know whether this is going to be building websites or building brands for people, but it's what I do for my day job, and I would really like to do it for creative people rather than just sales, consulting, people who I have good relationships with. But like honestly, doing something creative for people who are just not very creative themselves or don't have creative businesses does not light me up as much as working with other creative people does. So I'm thinking maybe I'll do something like that and kind of blend together my day job with the creative aspects of working with creatives like myself into one business idea concept of some sort. Next is that I want to get better at Spanish and French. This is kind of the intelligence section of everything, is that, yeah, I've been trying to learn Spanish for like years, and I'm very, very, very bad at it. And I have lots of friends who also speak French because I'm friends with a lot of Canadians, and I feel like it's just proper if I can at least kind of understand everything that's happening there, and also just to understand the world as a whole a little bit better, especially with the current political climate. I also want to read 12 fiction books and 5 nonfiction books. I also have a podcast with my co-host Holly, who, speaking of Canadian, she's Canadian. And so I want to build up that platform a whole lot more. So if you're interested in mixing witchy stuff with writing, check out the Writing Craft podcast. I'll leave it linked down below. It's visual and audio ones. You can find it on Spotify and on YouTube. Miscellaneous in terms of style is that I really want to get a tattoo. I've had a tattoo on my list for forever for my birthday that I've always wanted to do. I literally contacted an artist last year about it, but then my dog had to have surgery and I didn't have the money for it after the dog's surgery, and so I would really like to get my freaking tattoo. Please. I cannot believe I'm almost 30 and not tatted at all. I was certain that like at 18 I would immediately be getting tattoos, and it just never happened. Next is going to be definitely a series, a very fun series as long as financials and time allow it, but my sibling has grown up very, very sheltered, and now that we live together, I would like to do both of our California bucket lists. We live in California. I started only really seeing it though, and like leaving our really small hometown once I was in college, like 1 or 2 years, and actually like a working, adult and things like that. But my sibling has been a working adult for a little bit now, about 2 years, and they still haven't gone to many places. They're definitely a homebody, but they said that they want to get out of their shell, and I want to help them experience that and also knock a couple of my California bucket list items off my list as well. That means visiting all of the cool touristy places, all of the places we've saved on like our TikToks and on our Instagrams. We're like, oh, 10 things you have to do in California, blah, 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 blah. Like, my sibling Jay has literally not even gone to the beach. I'm going to take them to the beach. That'll be a whole vlog, is taking my sibling to the beach for the first time. Also, in terms of education, I need to decide whether or not I'm finishing my degree. That will be an entire episode. And if I do finish my degree, that will be an entire episode. If I decide not to, it'll probably be me frantically shuffling tarot cards to see what I should do. If not, I'm already registered for classes. I just need to do it. I just really don't want to pay school. Next is that also, I cannot believe I've never gone to a pagan or witch event before in my life. Hello? I want to do that in the next 6 months, preferably around Halloween because it just feels apt and the vibes are immaculate, and I don't want to be outside in the California hot summer when it's 114 degrees. But one pagan or witch event is an absolute must. So yeah, if we're talking about different sections of my life, we have author, professional career life, publish multiple freaking books and write them, rapid release, doing all the branding, doing author events, figuring out how to do all the covers and the formatting, and doing as much of it on my own as possible so that I can break even as fast as possible. Start up some sort of author services something or other so that I can make some sort of money. That's kind of in my financials category, as well as selling my books on TikTok Shop so that I can break even and start making some sort of income that eventually can become a full-time author income. Here's hoping. So that I can actually be like an author as like a full career. Followed by general intelligence of reading X amount of books, figuring out my whole degree scenario and situation. More beauty stuff would be things like figuring out my acne and rosacea kind of thing on my face that you can't see because I'm wearing foundation. Figuring out my style and getting a tattoo, doing a color analysis. And in terms of social media, it's everything. I want to make TikToks, I want to have a TikTok shop, I want to be like monetized on YouTube again. I cannot believe after like 6 years they took away my monetization 2 months ago. I'm very mad about it. I want to get that back, and I want to be making money on YouTube again. It wasn't much, but it was something. It also means growing things like my Patreon. So if you want to check out the Patreon, it's linked down below. You get bonus videos every month. And you see the covers on my book first over there. You see them there first. You can also read the early version of Between the Shadows and the Dawn with about 30k less words and some plot lines that have been changed and no editing. But if you're interested in kind of what I'm working with, you can find it on there. And those are just a couple of kind of the categories and things and goals that I personally have on top of the challenge to just change my life in the next 6 months, is that I want to have physical books that I can hold in my hand. I want to be confident and, healthy in the body that I live in, and tatted. Please, I need a tattoo. Immediately. I want to be more present on social media and making some sort of income off of that, as well as, and just in general, treating more of all of this as if it were my full-time job before it ever can be. So one of the things that I was always thinking about was, okay, what if I'm working all of these years with this goal in mind of being a full-time author, and then eventually I get to that point and then I realize I freaking hate it, and I actually need the structure of like a 9 to 5. Why not just act like I have it now, see if I even enjoy it, and if I don't, I can pivot before it becomes a reality. And that's kind of what inspired this whole challenge. On top of just watching videos very similar to this, with this whole trend going around and changed my life in 6 months, I've been very inspired by watching people actually legit like change. Like I can see changes in their face, in their skin, in the places that they live, different things like that. And it's been really inspirational and motivational for me. So I'm hoping this series will be for you too, and that you join the challenge. If you are so inclined, feel free to mix up the rules as much as possible because I will be checking in on this channel in November. And also in November, which is Q4, I'm having something occur, happen, etc. that I can't tell you guys about quite yet, but I'm calling it my big mysterious Q4 goal. But on top of all these other goals and projects that I've got lined up, I have a big Q4 project that I'm working on that I feel like is really going to change things up, and I can't tell you about it until the end of this series, about whether or not it was accomplished or it wasn't. And so in Q4, I will let you know, and I will catch up with you on that goal. And if I am in vlogs with you guys, I'll tell you guys, hey, Q4 goal, going great, or Q4 goal, it's going ass. But I'll make references during the series, don't worry. And then as soon as I can share the details with you, I will. But that won't be until November when we catch back up on everything we're doing. And you can tell me how many books you wrote and how many you published, and also if you queried any projects, and also did you freaking start going to the gym, or did you actually hate that and you just want to go swimming and go to the dog park with your dog all the time, because that's fucking perfectly fine too. Did you start a social media account? Did you write that book you've always been thinking about? I want to know what we've been doing over the course of 6 months of changing our lives together. Because I hope that this series in general is going to be motivating you to take actionable steps and actually applying all of these things that we've learned through social media. I am tired of watching other people teach me how to do things and then me not do the thing. I'm tired of watching people either do what I want to do and I just never have the balls to go and do it, or they're doing it with all the applied knowledge that I have and I know I can do it and I just still don't, and I'm self-sabotaging myself by not doing it. And that's why I want accountability. That's why I want to help inspire other people to do the same exact thing. And that is why we are going to change our lives in the next 6 months together. If you're so inclined, please do drop a comment down below if you guys would like sort of workbook of the rules, or maybe we can open up a Discord or something like that. Let me know and I can get that started, and I'll leave that link down below if those things get created, if there's demand for it. Yeah, I'm really excited for this challenge. You guys will see more of me actively doing all of these things in vlogs coming very soon. But that'll be it for me today. So let me know down below if you're excited for this challenge, what you're working on, what your project is, how many books you're gonna write, how are you changing these rules to suit yourself if you are joining us. And if you were just here to watch me crash out, let me know about that too. I'll catch you guys in the next one though, so bye!